So his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father,
Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you killed the fattened calf for him.
My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.
Thank you very much for bringing it to life for us. Thank you. Well, can I also give my welcome? Good to see you here this evening. I've got a question which requires a bit of kind of audience participation as we start. So hands up if you're the oldest child. Wow, a lot of you guys. Okay, thank you. Hands up if you're the youngest child. Okay, quite a few, okay. That's quite a lot of us. I'm quite surprised by that. Okay, so whether you are the oldest or the youngest, an only child maybe, a middle child, a twin, or triplets, I reckon all of society, let alone our families, can be put into two camps, the younger and the older sibling. I wonder which one do you most relate to? Often the older siblings are the ones who seek to conform and are responsible, bossy perhaps, ambitious, well-behaved, more likely to take a conventional job and live not too far from mum and dad. Does that sound familiar to you older siblings? Maybe. And the younger siblings, well, these ones are often more of the rebel spirit, kind of free-spirited, outgoing, social and carefree, more likely to go backpacking around Peru in their gap year, or work in startups, or move to London for the big city to try and make it. Is that more like you, I wonder? There's a whole world of this kind of data. It's called birth order theory. But tonight I want to focus on the two siblings, the oldest and the youngest, in one of the most famous stories ever told by Jesus. The story has three main characters, a father and his two sons. Now, considering who he's talking to, Jesus, it becomes obvious that the father in this story is a picture of God. And the younger and older sons are the two groups who the crowd is talking to, he's talking to. And look with me at the start of chapter 15 in Luke, just on page 1048. And in verse 1 and verse 2, we see the two groups of the people crowding around Jesus. In group 1, in verse 1, we see the tax collectors and the sinners. They are the outcasts of the world. And in group 2, in verse 2, we see the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, the religious ones. These two groups never mixed, but there was something about Jesus that drew them both to listen to this story, this parable, which is a timeless story. And it speaks as much then as it does now. It's a beautiful story that we too can see ourselves in. And as we go through it tonight, I wonder which sibling best relates to your past and present experiences. So let's look with the first younger son. Number 1, the younger son. I've messed up too much. The younger son said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." Now, this is not like saying, "Oh, Dad, it's my birthday in a month's time. Could I have my present now?" No, it's a bit more like this. "Dad, you know your will, where you've promised that when you die, you give me lots of it. Well, I want it now." "Oh, but son, I'm not dead yet." "Yeah, I know that, but I know what I want, and I want all that stuff. I don't want the relationship with you. I just want your money. I just want your stuff. I want all the gifts, but I don't want the giver. Imagine saying that to your parents. Older siblings wouldn't dare say such a thing to their parents. But in short, this younger son wants his dad dead. And then the response from the dad is almost shocking. The dad says yes and divides his property and gives the younger son what he's asked for. It must have broken his heart as this son sets off onto the horizon to live a life without his dad. The father has not just lost his youngest son, but is now in considerable financial difficulties, let alone the embarrassment and the loss of honor, the shame now brought upon his family by everyone else around him. And God, who earlier in our prayers we called our Father in the prayers earlier, this is the Father here in this story. He is the one who formed you and created you. He made you in his very image. I wonder, are we like this younger son? Have we rejected God the Father? Have we cast aside the giver and just want the gifts? The younger son doesn't look back once. He's his own man. He's independent. And then he goes off to a distant country, and there he squanders his wealth on wild living. He's living the dream, right? But it all goes wrong. That thrill of the lavish living, those kind of YOLO experiences don't last. It just doesn't satisfy. The youngest son spent everything and then began to be in desperate need, so much so he wanted to work alongside pigs. And to a Jewish audience at that time, working in a pig farm would have been the lowest of low. Jews were not supposed to go anywhere near this unclean animal, let alone want to eat the pods that they would be eating. This is where the son ends up. It's the very end of verse 16 of Luke chapter 15. It says this, "But no one gave him anything." No one gave him anything. This son is now all alone. No one cares for him. When his success and wealth and money is gone, he has no one. He is desperate and rock bottom, and he takes a hard look at himself in the mirror and comes to his senses, and he says this. He says, "How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare? And here I am, starving to death. I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.'" The son realizes his mess. He realizes his sin. He realizes how he has hurt his father, and he sinned against him and brought him shame, and how his selfish desires and chasing after the world has not satisfied. He acknowledges his mistakes are too costly for him to be a son anymore. But maybe, just maybe, he could be a servant again in his father's household. I've messed up too much. I've messed up too much. We see that in verse 19 and verse 21 when he says, "I'm no longer worthy to be called your son." I'm not worthy. I've messed up too much. And yet he is drawn by something to go back home, isn't he? And so this younger son comes home. Okay, number 2, the father. "My son was lost and is found." There's a picture on the screen. This is done by Charlie Mackesy, and there's some words on it, which are beautiful words. I'll just say that those words first on the screen a lot across the painting. It says, "This is the story of the prodigal son. It should really be called the running father who waited every day for his boy to return. The boy who rejected him so badly, and finally, when he saw him from a long way off, his father ran to him and hugged him and kissed him." This unworthy son, who has financially, socially, and emotionally harmed his father, gets this reception on his return. Verse 20 to 24. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father said to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger, sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." So they began to celebrate. Before the son arrived, his father was waiting, was searching for his son, hoping he would come home. Before the son could say his rehearsed speech, he was tackled by his undignified running father and smothered with hugs and kisses, the love of a father whose lost son has come home. "But I've messed up too much. I can't be called your son anymore." "No, you are my son. I love you, my son, and I forgive you. Have the best robe to show that you are not a servant, but my son. Have jewelry and more wealth and possessions, and let's feast together. Let's celebrate. You're back. You're alive. You are found." What outrageous love. What infinite compassion and what complete joy. This is the outrageous response of God the Father to all who come home, who were lost and now found. I wonder, what do you make of this love? Perhaps it amazes you. And if it amazes you, then this story of the younger son might be your story. Or maybe actually this story that doesn't amaze you, but actually maybe it jars with you, or angers or frustrates you. If so, maybe the older son might be your story. Number 3, the older son. It's not fair. All were celebrating the arrival of this lost son, except one. The older son, who when learning that his brother had returned and received a royal welcome, he was not chuffed, he was seething. The older brother became angry and refused to go in. This older son is not like his younger brother, but also he's not like his father either. For the younger son, the story is clear and transformative. The younger son was lost and is found. He was a sinner, and now he's been forgiven. But the older son, we're kind of left hanging, aren't we? We don't know what he will do. And Jesus here is speaking to the second group, the group of Pharisees and religious leaders. These guys, they think they're already in. They think they're safe. And Jesus uses this story, this parable, to urge them that they are not safe, that they are in grave danger if they keep going as they are. The response the older son gives to his father reveals his heart. He says, "Look, all these years I have been slaving for you, and never disobeyed you. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your property with prostitutes, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him." Jesus, when telling this story, has the religious leaders in mind when he talks about the older brother. And the father still is God in the story. So what we're seeing here is their relationship with God. And for the older son, it's all about work, isn't it? It's all about performance and doing. Look, all these years, I've been slaving away for you. The relationship is not one of love, but one of duty. The son views himself slaving away, not enjoying what he has. It's all about me, me, me. Look what I've been doing. Where's my rewards? It's not a positive relationship. It was really clear that the younger son had a broken relationship with his father, wasn't it? Well, the older son's relationship is just as broken. He just hasn't gone anywhere. It's just as broken as the younger brother's was, but not as obvious, perhaps. He's remained with his father, but it's broken. It's dutiful and work-based, yes, but no love. This is why the older son has such anger towards what he's just witnessed happen to his younger sibling. All my slaving has led to nothing. Yet this younger son, your son, who's a sinner, has brought a shame on all our family. You welcome him home? It is not fair. It's not fair. And then the father's response again. Our fourth point. My son, everything I have is yours. The older son is angry, but this is not how the father responds. The father, having already moved towards the younger son, now moves towards the older son. The father goes out, leaving the joy of the party, and pleads with his oldest son. He says, my son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. What amazing, beautiful words that contrast so much with the words that have just been shouted at from the older son to the father. First, he says, my son, you're always with me. What a statement of love, of unconditional love. Even after his son's angry and outburst, he pleads with his oldest son with such love. No matter what you do, you are still my son. No matter how rude you are to me, you are still my son. I love you. And not just I love you, but everything I have is yours. This son doesn't just love his children, but says all he has is theirs. You are to enjoy it all. This is unconditional grace. It's undeserved kindness. And this is all said after the angry rant from the older brother declaring it's not fair. What love? The father responds to his son's complaints about the younger son at the last verse in verse 32 when he says, but we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. My son, your brother was dead to us. We lost him. He was dead, but he's now not dead. He's alive, and we found him. We have to celebrate. He's been brought from death to life. We must celebrate. He's back home. Will you join me? And everyone else, will you come into the party? Come home and celebrate. We do not know the response of the older brother. Did he take his father's hand and join in, or did he stay on the outskirts, still angry and refusing to go in? We don't know. If you relate to the older brother, how do you respond to the father's invitation to join the party? This story transcends time and cultures as we look at these two sons and how their father loved them both. To those who relate most to the younger son, if you think you've messed up too much for God, please know this, you have not. There is nothing that you have done that can separate you from the love of God. And Jesus here is calling you home. He's saying, come home. Come home. To those who relate more to the older son, if you think that this is unfair, well, it is unfair, isn't it? It's unfair. It's an amazing grace. It's undeserved kindness for both the younger son, but also the older son as well. Come into the party, older son. But also hear the warning that you're not home yet. The party is in hearing distance. You can almost see it, but you're not in yet because the older son refuses to go in. Come in to the party. As a follower of Jesus, this party will never end, and a heavenly party awaits us one day. Will you come in? Come home, come in. There's a story of a young man who had a real big bust-up with his dad, and he left home for good. And after a number of months, he wouldn't speak to his father anymore, but was still in conversation with his mum, messaging a bit back and forth. And he felt the need to come home. But he was too afraid of his father that he wouldn't have forgiven him. And his mum kept saying, please come home, please come home. But the son wanted to, but couldn't. So eventually the mum said to the son, look, do you know the old oak tree at the back of our garden? And do you know how it's by the train tracks, by the station? Well, on that old oak tree, if there's a white thread on a branch of that oak tree, you know your father's forgiven you. And you can get off the train and come home. But if there's no white thread on the tree, then best keep going. No forgiveness. Okay, fine. So the son took the courage to go back home. He took a friend with him because he was nervous. And he got on the train, and the train was slowing now towards the station, and his back garden was nearing. And he was getting nervous now, really nervous. So he asked his friend to swap places with him so he could look into the garden and see if there was that one white thread on the tree. And they swapped places, and the friend saw the garden. It's coming up. And the son's like, can you see a white thread? Can you see a white thread? And the friend says, I can't see one white thread. I see thousands of white threads on that old oak tree. Younger brother, come home. Older brother, come in. Let's have a few moments of silence, then I'll pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your outrageous love. A love that you show us now. A love that we can all have if we turn back and come home to you. What love and what a celebration it is when a lost child is found and comes home. Father, I pray we would know for the first or the thousandth time this love that you have for us. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Thanks so much, Jez. We're going to continue our service